Welcome to Philly Fortune Talks with your host, Jake Penny, where the city's brightest minds share the secrets behind their success. Are you ready to be inspired?
Imagine transforming your real estate business through exclusive events and strategic partnerships. Today, we explore the journey of Joshua Buchter, founder and CEO of Wolf of Broad Street Real Estate Events and Consulting. With a background in marketing and business development and sales in Philly real estate industry, Joshua has brought unique blend of expertise to the table. Known as the Wolf of Broad Street, Josh specializes in creating unmatched networking opportunities and media promotions to set businesses ahead. From relaxed networking happy hours to black tie galas, his curated experience empowers real estate professionals with the knowledge and connections needed to scale to new heights. Josh, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me, Jake. It's really an honor to be here.
Absolutely. So, Josh, your career in marketing and events, I've seen these things go on for years, and you put on a crazy event in an amazing way and uniquely. So can you share a little bit like what motivated you to start Wolf of Broad Street and, your grander vision for it?
Thank you. Yeah. Thinking back, I've always been an events guy ever since I was 14 years old. My first job was working in a banquet facility. They had 4 banquet halls under one roof, and my job title was pot washer. I was in the back scrubbing pots bigger than me, or half the size of me. Dishes and glasses and silverware coming at me every direction, and just working weekends and working my way up through that banquet facility to eventually setting up the rooms, breaking down the rooms, cleaning the place, having the keys to the place. This is a 14-year-old going 15, 16. So when I was 16, a friend of mine, Ray Jones, my best friend, we started a mobile DJ business. So while I was working at the banquet facility, we were picking up DJ gigs at the hall and at independent venues and backyard barbecues and whatever the occasion would be. We didn't even have licenses at this point, so our parents were driving us to the gigs. We were charging a crazy low rate, like $50 an hour, and every time we had a gig, we picked up another event. So we were just young kids hustling, DJing, working banquets. I did get the chance to go away to college. So that's when the DJing stopped and the banquet business stopped. And I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University in North Jersey, studied finance, worked all types of odd jobs outside of the events business. So up there, I was working at a restaurant. I worked at a CVS. I did work at a conference hotel with 50 conference rooms. So there you go, events again. So in one way or another, it's always been about the events. After graduating from college with my finance degree and looking for a job for some time, I picked up a position with a small credit repair company, helping people restore their credit, led me to networking with loan officers and real estate agents. And I just always found that events is the best way to stay relevant, stay top of mind, always have something to talk about. And just by bringing people together, it's automatically going to benefit me. So that was like the humble beginnings of, where we are today with Wolf of Broad Street Real Estate Events.
Thank you for sharing that. Your company specializes in like exclusive events and networking opportunities. What key strategies have been essential in achieving success in that niche market?
Yeah, we found our lane in Philly real estate and greater Philadelphia real estate with Bucks County, all the counties, South Jersey. We don't need a whole national reach necessarily. There's enough to keep us busy right here.
Oh, yeah.
18,000 licensed real estate salespeople in Philadelphia County alone, tons of banks and loan officers and home inspectors, interior design, all the affiliates that go along with the real estate transaction is kind of up our alley. And for us to curate these events specifically for the real estate industry and represent sponsor partners to the fullest, and promote the promotion leading up to the event, the publicity after the event, it's always a wave of activity going that really helps to keep us pushing forward and kind of leveling up on our business model. limiting the number of objections for people, to come to the events. That's huge. Some of our events are free. They're all fun. They're all unique with a different theme. So, like you mentioned in the intro, everything from we're coming up on our 5th annual golf tournament to awards galas and coffee breaks and spring breaks and winter wonderlands. It's always something going on, and we try to keep it, fresh for the people so they don't get bored.
So what makes one of your events like successful and like stand out? Because you obviously stand out in the greater Philadelphia area more than any event company out there. So well, what is that key that you use?
Our bread and butter is our sponsored partners. And if, I want our guests to be happy, obviously. It's very important that all the guests are happy. But if our sponsor partners are happy and they see that we filled that room and we represented them to the fullest through social media, through whatever billboard trucks, through email blast and text blast and phone calls, just to really make it happen for our sponsored partners, it lets us know that we're doing something right. We're, in business and we're going to be around a long time. So connecting the dots really between our sponsor partners and their ideal, clientele or introductions through the events business is a very valuable tool. And it's, constantly evolving, but I don't feel like it's ever going to get taken over by AI, or something like
Right.
that, which is kind of reassuring to have some type of like job security these days.
You got a lot of background. You started being an entrepreneur at a young age. You've been in marketing, business development, sales. How has that over the years influenced your leadership style with the Wolf of Broad Street?
I mean, kind of just like believing in yourself and vision visualizing like your success and taking it one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. I always say if I'm not taking any steps backwards that day, it was a good day. As long as I'm not going backwards. Over the last um, 15, no, 17 years in the game, it's just been very important to stay super consistent and build on my network and my database. Starting out with nothing, moved back to Philly in 2010 after college, was living on a futon in my friend's spare office bedroom and, taking the bus to work back and forth and just figuring it out. But I learned the value of building a network at a very early stage in my career. And it's basically built me into being a leader in the Philly real estate industry. While I'm not a real estate guy necessarily, I'm a marketing and events guy with my lane in Philly real estate. You do it long enough, you build up enough contacts, you help enough people, you're automatically going to be propelled to at least looking like a leader. So
Yeah.
but it's really all about connecting the dots, being a good listener, hearing what people need, what people are looking for, being proactive in ways to help those people. They'll never forget it. We have some guests at our events that have barely missed 2 or 3 events in all the years that we've been doing this. We have some really consistent followers, but every event we have fresh new faces too. So just like a constantly expanding, little web we got going on here.
Yeah, you're definitely the authoritative figure of networking, right? You are the man when it comes to networking. And it's probably more about like your events too. It's like the way it makes people feel. People always remember how you made them feel, how
That's
you
right.
made them feel. So it's like,
Mhm.
you know, um,
We have a lot of fun at our events. It's not all about collecting every single business card from every single person in the room or necessarily wearing a colored coded badge or, anything like a typical business card exchange network after event may bring to your mind. We have a DJ, we have 360 photo booths, we have red carpets, we have door prizes, lots of media coverage. That's a major thing. Like people want to look back and show off and have some content to post after the event, and we create hundreds of pieces of content with every event. So the events business is a content creating machine. We never run out of content or different materials to, you know, promote and distribute, which is cool. But yeah,
Uh,
the feeling that, the guests get at the event is super important. And you're right, it does stick with them.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, you've done like tons of events over the years, but I was going to ask you what a specifically successful event that you organized and what made it stand out. But I think you told the listeners what makes your event stand out. If you have more to add to that, please feel free to do it.
Yeah, I could talk about events all day. No, I mean, recently we started to figure out the formula for panel style events. It sounds simple. Oh, you put 5 bar stools up on the stage and you put 5 people there and let them talk and everything like that. But that's everything we do. We try to do it a little bit differently. So recently we did the Philadelphia Real Estate Symposium at the Mummers Museum in South Philly. People drive by that place all the time, have never been in there, never knew what was there. There's a whole auditorium in there. We were able to fill it up and get, you know, big time economists in there giving breakdowns on the Philadelphia real estate industry, national public speakers and real estate coaches, top producing real estate agents like Mike McCann and Joe Bograd, and just filled the stage with all the right people and strict itinerary. Every minute was accounted for. I co-hosted it with our headline sponsor, Pat Lopez with Quain Oak Bank, and we raised a bunch of money for the Bethesda project that helps Philadelphia homeless. It was just a beautiful thing that all came together well, and the Philly Inquirer was there, and it was really cool. We did a similar event like that in Bucks County shortly after that. We called it the Bucks County Real Estate Collaborative. And the theme of that was really collaboration over competition. Thousands of real estate agents out there, but the ones that succeed and the ones that I feel enjoy their careers more are the ones that cooperate and collaborate with their peers to get things done and lower stress and make their clients happy. Similar kind of agenda with awesome speakers and the set design by Staging Craft, Nancy Vanderswan, just really eye catching. And that event was at the Newtown Theater, so very historic theater in Newtown. So those types of events as of recently have really stuck out, and we look forward to making them kind of like a annual recurring thing. And if we could do it in Philly, if we could do it in Bucks, we can really do it anywhere in the country. So as of now, we're greater Philadelphia heavy, but who knows, where that may lead.
So where did you learn all this? Was there like a mentor? Was there books, podcasts? I mean, putting on events like this is no easy task whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it took a lot of trial and tribulation and learning as you go. But, is there anything that stood out in your endeavors that really gave you that epiphany, that aha is like, this is what we need to do?
I think it was just firsthand experience, learning from others, going to every single type of event out there that was available, being very observant, taking note of what's working, what's not working. And really, it was just the activity of getting out there and going to the events myself, and a little encouragement from a bartender at my local watering hole many years ago, Chris Red, from the Bridge Philly at the time, 100 Spring Garden Street in the same plaza as Delilah's. I went in there. I was having a drink right after a networking event. And he said, Josh, you're always out and about, going to these events, hustling, having meetings and things like that. Why don't you just host your own event? And I just looked at him like, that's not a bad idea. He's like, you could do it here. He said, you could do it right here. I'm like, at the bridge, and we did it. It was, back in 2000, I want to say 15 or so. And, we took over the bridge, our first Philly real estate industry networking event, packed the place out, and just have been rolling with it and figuring it out ever since. But I've never expected perfection. I'm always open to, understanding that the event's never going to be perfect. You got to start somewhere, and we've learned so much since that first event, and it's all about, like I said earlier, just not taking any steps backwards. It was looking back, it was a sloppy mess, but there was a full house of people there having a good time. And we have the photos to prove it, and my style in suits has come a long way since that event.
Those sloppy events turned in what it is today, though, which are
Yeah.
amazing events and
Thank you.
1% better every day. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And perfection. I
Yeah.
like persistence.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't think there's anything as perfection, but if we can be persistent, persistently good, persistently great,
Yep.
then that's all that matters.
And
Um,
with people, I think it was Michael Cohen, he's a top realtor in the city,
mhm.
that said, being politely persistent is key with people, because it's all about relationships. I talk about sponsors and clients. We have a whole new marketing program that we're rolling out where we're representing select companies in the real estate industry. And people don't like to be sold, but they like to buy. They want to buy into you, and you have to be politely persistent to do that without having sales breath or being a stalker or anything like that. You just have to find ways to stay top of mind, stay tapped in, stay adding value, letting the people see you work. If they see you work and you're not necessarily directly asking for anything, but they see how they can benefit, they're gonna tap in, they're gonna buy, they're gonna get down. So work always works.
yes, work always works, but also work hard, work smarter, not harder.
That's right. That's
For
right.
sure.
Yeah.
So your work involves creating, bespoke and invite-only events. Can you share an example of how your innovative approach has made a difference for a client or a partner or a sponsor?
Yeah, of course. One event comes to mind. We had the Great Producers Awards Gala at Rivers Casino, Philadelphia. I ran magazines for 5 years, Philadelphia and Bucks County Real Producers Magazine, with a very small readership, which was the top 500 real estate agents in Philly real estate. The exclusivity of having to be invited and be featured in the magazine in order to be, nominated for an award in 12 different categories, it kind of just like funneled everybody to the top. Even the people that didn't necessarily win the award, but having over 100 people nominated for awards in 12 different categories was just a very beautiful thing. And I learned a lot through feedback from the events. Not only are attendees and award winners still talking about that event. I literally just shared a snippet of one of the speeches to a friend of mine who was on stage just this week. But I come to find out that a top agent award winner there is working with one of our mortgage partners now in multiple states, and that loan officer is making $50,000 a year off of that one introduction alone to this real estate team, from that event. So
Wow.
concrete examples and instances where the stars align and they match up, and all I did was make the introduction, but I can hear that type of feedback, and it's not automatic. Like, I don't expect to hear every update and feedback about who's working with who and everything like that, but it is super nice and reassuring to hear stories like that, that all stemmed from sponsoring an event and showing up,
Yeah, the
Yeah,
value that they paid or whatever it may be, or the time value that they gave to be at one of those events
yeah,
was returned
yeah.
10x, 50x in the connections that they made.
Yes, exactly. Yep. It's what it's all about, Um, and yeah, I mean, not everybody's going to click. Not everybody's going to, take advantage of the introduction. Some people ask for the introduction, you make it, and they never respond, and it just gets lost by the wayside. But as long as I'm doing my job, that's all I can do.
Right.
All you can do is all you can do.
Your intent and your impact with the events is all in alignment, and at the end of the day, it's for them to decide what they want to do with that.
Exactly.
You know
And
what? Sorry, go ahead.
oh yeah, we've since stepped it up and started offering corporate event strategy services to private clients who are now coming to us to help plan, promote, and execute their events. So while we're going to continue to do our events heavy, monthly, we are taking on private clients for grand openings or broker opens and client appreciation parties and awards galas for real estate companies, all types of things like that. It won't be a Wolf of Broad Street event. We'll just play the background and kind of white label it for our private event clients.
Okay, like a done for you service almost.
Yeah, exactly. We have the systems, processes, and ways to get it done. But yeah, it's really three parts. You plan it, you promote it, and you execute it. And there's 100 check boxes that go between each one of those three pillars. But we just have it all down pat. It's a lot of
Uh,
work, but it's a fun and valuable service.
I like that. Amazing events in a box done for you by the professionals so that they don't have to worry about doing all that and they can focus on what they're good at and you can focus on making their time an amazing event that they had.
Thank you. I'm on to something, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the business in the box deal, you know?
I like that. Yep.
So, what upcoming trends are you most excited about? What opportunities, in the greater Philadelphia region with real estate, anything outside of that, and, how are you preparing for it?
Yeah. I mean, I've come to the realization that less is more in many ways. There was times where I was representing 20 different mortgage companies.
Mm.
I don't need to do that. I'd rather represent six mortgage companies and four title companies and, just like a smaller group of companies that are aligned with what we've got going on and will take advantage of showing up to the events and getting busy on social media and taking advantage of strategic introductions. And we're calling that the Wolf of Broad Street Wolf Pack. Eventually, there will be 100 members across different industry categories, a limited number of spots per category. And it's really, a digital marketing platform with unlimited ad design and unlimited access to all of our events and the professional strategic introductions and private community, and really just narrowing it down, our focus so that we can adequately and, more than adequately, but over exceed expectations of our clients as it relates to marketing and events. So that's what's to come. We are just rolling this out now. As of today's podcast, we have 7 Wolfpack members, and we'll eventually be ramping up to 100, capping out at 100, and that's going to be our project for the next X amount of years.
I love that. I love that. During your events, you give a lot back to the community. You work with charities and everything like that. Are there any communities or philanthropic initiatives you're involved in that you like to share with us?
Yeah, we have supported Little Smiles over the years. A great friend of ours and mortgage professional, Steve Grandizio, is the co-founder of Little Smiles, which helps kids going through terrible, traumatic experiences with their health and life situations. We recently raised money for Little Smiles that went to Shriners Children's Hospital. And we went down there and met some of the kids from all around the world. Shriners doesn't turn away patients without insurance. So they got kids coming from all over the world to get spinal surgeries, and they have all this apparatus that the kids are walking around on to get their spines straight, and their families
Wow.
are there. You can imagine how stressful and expensive that is. So just to be able to, like, we're not paying for their surgery, but if we can go in there and, through Little Smiles, provide happiness like iPads or trips to concerts and Phillies games. And Little Smiles does a award, like their own kids gala every year, where there's limos and red carpets and stuff for the kids. Just like little impacts like that, and it trickles down to kids across the world. Little by little, we're making an impact. So Little Smiles definitely comes to mind for sure.
Yeah, taking their mind off of what they're going through just so they can, because a lot of them don't have many happy experiences. So
Yep.
it's like giving them that little bit to where it's like, oh my God, I'm normal for just a little bit.
Yep.
That really helps, and through college, on like breaks, I used to work for a bionic body part manufacturer called Acero,
Interesting.
and they created bionic spines, bionic body parts, and I'm sure like,
Yeah.
what you're giving back to is like, a product that they might be using. So that's interesting that that came like full circle.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know a lot about networking, and how has that kind of impacted your business? I know you help folks with their real estate investing dreams, and you have a bunch of properties yourself. Have you found networking events, beneficial in kind of getting where you have it?
Absolutely. Your network is your net worth.
That's true.
If you're not growing, you're dying. And the only way you're growing is either learning or it's like who, not how, right? Who
Totally.
do you know, not
Yep.
how do you do it? So
Yeah.
it's like, getting out there, branding is important. If people don't know you, people won't flow you. That's the saying, So, networking is super, super important, whether it's cold, whether it's warm audience. At the end of the day, you have to get out there. People have to see your face, go with the correct intention. And, you know, you need people to know, like, and trust you to be able to do business in every endeavor of life,
Yep.
truthfully. But at the end of the day, with the right intentions to serve a better purpose, to serve a mission, to provide whatever you may provide your service or your product. Um, I always feel has to come from a serving heart and do better for not only the person that you're serving, but also the people that they're involved with as well. Like, the world, I call it, or the universe or something.
Totally.
But yeah, networking is by far the most important thing because at the end of the day, you're not in the business of making money. You're in the business of people. Everything's a people business. Without people, you have no business. So, and without networking, you have no people. So connect the dots, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
If you had one, a piece of advice for aspiring entrepreneurs or even maybe, networking coordinators or event coordinators that are just starting their journey and they want to make a significant impact, what would it be?
Just be prepared to take the ball all the way down the field if you have to. Take it from A to Z. Do not rely on anybody or anything to meet you halfway. And just understand that talk is cheap. Anybody can say anything to you. They can promise things to you. They can commit to doing something for you and your business, but don't rely on anybody to meet you halfway. As much as it helps and it happens, there's going to be times where somebody drops the ball, somebody doesn't come through, somebody falls out on what they plan to do with you, and you can't just chalk that up, say we failed, we took the L. You have to be prepared, have that plan B, even if that plan B is for you just to do it, because you won't get anywhere relying on anybody and taking everybody's word as gold.
Yep.
It's
Look
it's
in
not,
look in the mirror.
it's not a fun and happy thing to think about, but it's a important part of success in whatever you're doing, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an event planner. There's a lot of moving parts, and you just gotta be one step ahead of everybody wherever possible.
Yeah, yeah. And you got to do a lot more of pointing the finger forward and do that U-turn where you point the
Yeah,
finger
yeah,
back at yourself.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'm
Yep.
never placing blame on anybody else. Things happen, things come up, people, divert, but it's nobody else's fault but, your own if you're not prepared for it.
Exactly. What is the saying? It's like you're the captain of your ship, the leader of your destiny, and like, at the end of the day, it's your problem to, or you need to be the solution to be able to
Yes,
go about life, business, whatever it may be.
exactly. Be the
So
solution. Shout out Maria Quattro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I said be the solution, right? That was like a unconscious like drop
Different
right there.
podcast now.
That was so unconscious too. And then I was like, pop the light. I was like, damn.
That's a great,
Good for
great.
her, Maria. Yep. Be the Solution podcast. But for listeners who want to connect with you, learn more about your events, learn more about the Wolf Pack, learn more about the Done For You service for events, where's the best place for them to go to?
Best place is our shiny new website, which is wolfofbroadstreet215.com. You can submit a contact form. You can subscribe to our newsletter, see all the upcoming events and all that good stuff. All of our social media profiles are linked to that website, wolfofbroadstreet215.com.
Awesome, Josh. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Jake. Really appreciate you.
Thanks for tuning in to Philly Fortune Talks with Jake Penny. Inspired to share your success story? Visit phillyfortunetalks.com/guest and let's inspire together.